The film begins 17 years ago on an island called St. Hopper. On the island, there is a research lab where they modified dinosaur genes. In the lab, we see a scientist entering the facility, and his colleague opens a door for him. But after he enters, we notice a malfunction in an internal door inside the lab that doesn't close. At that moment, the alarm goes off, and everyone in the lab quickly flees. However, the lab door locks one of them inside. His colleague tries to open the door, but she stops, terrified, because she sees a dinosaur appearing behind her trapped colleague. He pleads with her to open the door quickly, but she is scared and apologizes to him. The dinosaur then eats him. We move to the present time and learn that 32 years have passed since dinosaurs returned to life. Dinosaurs exist in an area of islands near the equator, and the government prohibits anyone from approaching there. We see Krebs in his car, stuck in traffic, with Zora in the car. From their conversation, we learn that Krebs owns a private company developing medicines. He wants to undertake a secret mission to the tropical islands to collect dinosaur blood samples. His company can develop the medicine they produce using these samples. We learn that someone recommended Zora for this mission because she was in Special Operations Forces. When Zora hears he wants to go to the equatorial islands, she is not interested and gets out of the car to leave. Krebs follows her and tries to convince her. He explains that he wants to collect dinosaur blood samples to develop a medicine that will help people. Zora remains uninterested until she hears him say she will receive a reward from this mission. She asks him how much the amount will be, and he tells her the amount will have 7 zeros, and she can live the rest of her life rich. In return, she must go with him on the mission. Zora agrees immediately. They go to the dinosaur museum and talk with Henry. Henry is a doctor and expert in dinosaurs. Henry knows about the mission because Krebs spoke to him about it before. Henry explains to Zora the purpose of the mission. They tell her they will collect 3 samples from 3 types of dinosaurs: marine dinosaurs, herbivorous dinosaurs, and flying dinosaurs. The samples they collect will be used to develop the medicine Krebs' company is working on. Since the mission is secret, Krebs wants him to go alone without an army or other security personnel. When Henry hears that Krebs wants to go with him, he is surprised because he thought Krebs was only asking for his opinion on the mission, not to join it. Naturally, he is not okay with it because the matter is dangerous. Zora talks to him to convince him. She tells him he has never seen a real dinosaur up close before, and this is a once-in-a-lifetime adventure. Since Henry is very passionate about dinosaurs, he agrees to go with them. They immediately go to the place of the 4th person, Duncan. They talk to him about the mission. Although Duncan had agreed before, he backs out and refuses. He tells them the mission is dangerous and will put their lives at risk. Zora tries to convince him too by provoking him. She tells him she will ensure the team's safety instead of him if he doesn't go and turns out to be a coward. She succeeds in making Duncan agree, but he sets a condition that they go on his boat and that his assistant Bobby joins him to help ensure their safety. Krebs agrees, and they assemble the team and start the mission by boat in the ocean. We see with them the boat's captain and his assistant Nina. In the control room, they talk, and Krebs informs them they will sail toward the islands at the equator. Bobby shows them a weapon with nerve toxins they will use to defend themselves if dinosaurs attack. Henry says their goal is not to kill the dinosaurs. Bobby responds, saying they will only use a toxin if they must defend themselves. Still, Henry is not comfortable. We leave them and go to another boat in the ocean. A family is on a sea trip. We meet the father, Robin, talking with his younger daughter, Eliza. His older daughter, Teresa, comes out after waking up from sleep. Her boyfriend, Xavier, comes out after her. After a while, Teresa notices a creature with fins appearing in the water. The creature is a marine dinosaur and collides with their boat, flipping it into the water. They hold onto the overturned boat and sit on it. They send a distress signal via radio so any nearby ship can hear them. The next morning, the team hears the distress signal on the radio and learns the family's location is a few miles away from them. They discuss together, and Krebs and Bobby don't want to change their direction to rescue the family. Krebs tells them someone else will surely hear the radio signal and go rescue them. But Zora says they must help the family and go to them. Duncan makes a decision and decides they will go rescue them. We go to the family at that moment, still sitting on the boat. When they see the team's boat approaching, they are thrilled because someone finally came to rescue them. In the control room on the boat, they learn from the family that a marine dinosaur attacked their boat. They hear the team talking about their mission, but the family doesn't understand it. Krebs doesn't explain the nature of the mission to them. He tells them they will go to the island to collect things from there and return. At that moment, the marine dinosaur swims beside the boat. They see it as a suitable opportunity and prepare to collect the first sample from it. Zora takes out the weapon with the syringe to aim at it. She waits until they are 10 meters away from it to shoot. She shoots the first syringe, but it misses. She asks Henry to get her another syringe. Henry brings the syringe and loads it into the weapon. At that moment, the dinosaur gets closer to them. Zora shoots the syringe at it and hits it. The syringe collects the sample, bounces back, and flies into the air. They catch it, and thus they have collected the first sample. They are very happy. Later, Henry talks to Zora privately and tells her that Krebs' company, after collecting the samples and developing the medicine, won't make it available to everyone, but only to the rich who have a lot of money. Zora says she hasn't thought about that, and it's not her role to think or care about it. All she wants is for the mission to be over and to get her money. After a while, they see dinosaurs of another type swimming around their boat. Bobby shoots at them to scare them away, even though there's no need for it. A dinosaur attacks him from the water, takes him into the water, and he dies. They increase the boat's speed toward the rocks because the dinosaurs are chasing them. Duncan wants to get the boat to shallow water, so the dinosaurs can't reach them. But at the same time, the rocks might hit the boat and sink it. Robin asks his daughter Teresa to go to the control room quickly and send a distress signal via radio. But Krebs follows her and stops her because it's a secret mission and they don't want anyone to know anything about it. Teresa tries to push him away, but she slips backward and grabs onto the boat with her hands before falling into the water. She calls out to Krebs to help her, but he doesn't move. Her father, Robin, sees her falling into the water. Her boyfriend, Xavier, jumps into the water immediately to save her. Robin jumps with his younger daughter, Eliza, because the boat is about to crash due to the rocks. They all jump from the boat. Duncan keeps driving the boat until it reaches the shore. At the same time, Xavier is with his girlfriend Teresa in the water. She tells him that Krebs tried to kill her on the boat. They find her father, Robin, and her sister, Eliza, and they regroup. Krebs reaches the island after swimming. Zora and Henry arrive, having survived a dinosaur attack. On the shore, a dinosaur attacks Nina, the captain's assistant, eats her, and takes her into the water. Duncan is shocked as he watches her die. We go to Robin's family as they enter a cave on the island. They see the island's ruins, which are very beautiful. Krebs informs the team that the island is called St. Hopper. There was a secret lab developing dinosaur genes, but the experiment went out of control, and the dinosaurs escaped from the lab. The government decided to abandon the island and leave it for the dinosaurs to live on. They are upset with Krebs because he didn't tell them about this before the trip and hid it from them. But Zora insists they continue the mission so she can get the reward. She tells them there's no reason to hesitate. She moves forward herself, so they follow her to collect the 2 remaining samples. While moving on the island, they hear dinosaur sounds. Large herbivorous dinosaurs appear. Zora and Henry prepare to aim the syringe at them. Since Henry knows these dinosaurs are not harmful, he approaches them and touches a dinosaur's leg. He is amazed because it's the first time he's touched a real dinosaur in his life. Zora aims the syringe at the dinosaur, collects a sample, and the syringe bounces back and flies. Duncan catches it, and thus, they have successfully collected the second sample. Only the third sample remains, which is supposed to be from a flying dinosaur. We return to Robin's family, who have reached a place on the island. Teresa sees a broken boat on the other side. She decides to cross and go to it herself, hoping to find something to help them. While there, she finds a sleeping dinosaur. She tries not to make any noise and enters the boat's cabin. She finds an inflatable raft in a bag. She takes it out and drags it toward the water, scared because any noise might wake the sleeping dinosaur. Although her father and boyfriend Xavier signal to her not to open the inflatable raft, Teresa opens it. The raft makes a noise, and she finds the dinosaur has disappeared. Shortly after, the dinosaur appears drinking water. Teresa moves with the raft and goes to them. They get on with her and paddle quickly to get away from the dinosaur. But it notices them and follows in the water to catch them. It flips their raft. They swim with the current and manage to regroup. But Eliza is missing. They hear her voice under the overturned inflatable raft. The raft is heading toward the dinosaur, which lifts it with its mouth. They think Eliza is dead, but Eliza appears in the water, swimming toward them with the current. The dinosaur tries to catch and eat her, but at the last moment, Eliza reaches them and passes through the rocks. The dinosaur can't pass, so it leaves them and swims away. The inflatable raft appears in front of them from under the water. They are happy because they survived the dinosaur attack and still have the raft. We return to the team climbing to a high place to shoot the syringe at the flying dinosaur. They use a rope to descend to the place where the dinosaur is. Inside the dinosaur's nest, Henry finds an egg. He takes the third sample from one of the eggs. At that moment, the dinosaur arrives at the nest. Zora and Henry try to hide and get away from the dinosaur, trying to kill them. The captain makes a noise from outside to distract the dinosaur. It goes to him. The captain calls out to Duncan and Krebs to pull him up quickly with the rope, but the rope pulls Henry and makes him fall from above. Fortunately, he falls into the water. They all descend from above, put the third sample they collected in the bag, and move. At that moment, Robin's family is in the inflatable raft, paddling in shallow water. They abandon the raft and walk toward the lab. At the same time, the team reaches the lab's location and notices footprints. They realize Robin's family is nearby and call out to them. Krebs says they don't have time and doesn't want them to look for them. But Zora is determined to find them and calls out until they find them. When Teresa sees Krebs, she gets angry and says he tried to kill her on the boat. Krebs, holding a gun, denies trying to push her and accuses her of lying. He takes the sample bag from Zora and informs them they will wait for the helicopter to arrive to take them off the island without any problems. Suddenly, the place lights up because the generator starts automatically, illuminating the place at night. Dinosaurs appear in the area. They try to escape quickly. Robin's family enters an abandoned supermarket and locks the door. Henry and Duncan enter the lab and lock the gate. One dinosaur manages to enter the supermarket through the heating system. Robin's family hides as it searches for them. Robin notices a drain where water is flowing. He realizes there are tunnels below. They descend before the dinosaur reaches them and start moving through the underground passages. At the same time, Duncan, in the lab, learns there are underground tunnels that lead to an emergency boat on the island shore. They see the helicopter in the sky. Duncan asks Henry to try to attract the helicopter's attention while he looks for Robin's family and brings them. Meanwhile, Krebs drives a car and escapes alone, leaving Zora. Zora quickly hides and sees a dinosaur entering the underground passages through a drain. She moves quickly and follows it because she heard Robin's family's voices in the passages. Henry tries to attract the helicopter's attention by shooting a flare. Unfortunately, a dinosaur attacks the helicopter as it lands and destroys it. Moments later, Duncan hears Robin's family's voices in the tunnel. He tells Henry to descend quickly to the tunnel, and he descends too. They hide from the dinosaur. Duncan informs them that the tunnels lead to the emergency boat. They move together. Zora, in the tunnels, hears their voices and sees them. She quickly shoots at the dinosaur behind them and hits it. They move toward the exit and reach the gate, but they find it locked and can't pass through. The child, Eliza, passes through the gate's bars because her body is small. She goes to open the gate from outside. At that moment, a large dinosaur appears but doesn't notice Eliza as she opens the gate. At the same moment, Krebs arrives in the car he's driving. The dinosaur sees him, attacks him, and eats him. Zora takes a sample bag. They quickly move toward the emergency boat. The dinosaur appears and approaches Eliza. Duncan distracts the dinosaur with a flare and draws it toward him. The dinosaur goes to Duncan. He jumps into the water to lure the dinosaur, giving them a chance to start the rescue boat and escape. They board the boat, start it, and move away. The dinosaur doesn't catch them and swims away. Zora is sad about Duncan, who sacrificed himself for them. But then they see a flare in the sky and realize Duncan shot it. They look for him and find him still alive in the water. They take him onto the boat and leave the island. When Zora asks Henry who they will give the samples to, Henry gives her the choice. He says she should decide herself. She decides to give the samples to everyone, not to a private company like Krebs, so everyone can benefit from them. They see a pod of dolphins swimming with the boat. They are happy because they survived and feel satisfied. And the film ends. Thanks for watching.